Look at it at a global level, not just Europe. There's a very, very high degree of concentration from a number of minerals, in particular processed minerals, in one country, in one producer. And whatever the market you have is, whatever the product is, that degree of concentration is a risk. So for all of us, for Europe and other parts of the world, we need to diversify. We need to make sure that our supply chains are resilient. It goes from the raw materials themselves to the refining and processing, but also really other parts of the supply chain and value chains for green technologies and for the technologies that are necessary for our societies and for our economies. But for example, the Net Zero Industry Act, where we identify what are the technologies and product supply chain components that are needed for our energy transition and our climate neutrality, and how do we make sure we have that resilience in the supply chains, including by investing more in Europe and making use of what we have, as you say. I think an important part of that, and one that is also recognized in this regulatory framework, is that of circularity. There's a lot of this that can actually be reused. The more circular we can be, the less dependent we are on supply from others. So there's more that can be done there, investments into circularity. When it comes specifically to critical minerals, we are doing what we call demand aggregation. We've done it in the energy sector as well, in the gas sector during the crisis, to try to put together demand, to give more clarity for those that could supply about what is it that is needed, and then therefore have better conditions on the markets as a whole, and more transparency in markets, better understanding of markets. So there are a number of different instruments we're putting together to reduce the risk of this very high dependency on one supplier, one producer. And again, it's in any market, and it's regardless of who that supplier is, concentration is a risk. I think a dependence on molecules to fuel your system is a high risk dependence, because the moment the molecules stop, your system stops working. A dependence on supply chains or technologies is typically a longer term risk. That doesn't mean it's not a risk, but it does mean it impacts your system in different ways, and hopefully there's more time to adapt to that and secure the necessary investments to build that capacity in Europe going forward.